Well, good evening, West Ham fans. Let's have a bit of a transfer rumour roundup, shall we? Well, a very happy Wednesday evening to you. You've had the Holy Trinity of the West Ham Network today. You've had Anton in the morning, Holly in the afternoon, and me to tuck you in at night. So that's a little bit too early for bedtime just yet in the Button household. Anyway, we've had literally. I mean, last week it's all been about who's going to be the next head coach of West Ham. Amorim, Fonseca, Lopetegui, Antonio Conte, all these names. What about I did a show last week and there's about 20 names we went through. And go back and check it out because I went sort of through the positives and negatives of each of them because I think they all have pluses and minuses. I don't even think, even a Lopetegui to me isn't have complete minuses because if you listen to someone like Craig Dawson talk about his time under Lopetegui at Wolves, he was extremely complimentary about him, saying what a fantastic sort of inspiring man he was as a manager. So anyway, regardless of that, I thought let's do some player rumours, shall we? Because Tim's burrowing away. We know he's been in Brazil. We're trying to get Wesley from Corinthians. I think we've had a £15 million rejected. They want 20 million. So probably meet somewhere in the middle, I'd imagine, eventually if we go for that. But there does seem to be a strategy in play. A strategy is needed, to be honest. Holly spoke today about Cresswell leaving. We spoke yesterday about Antonio leaving. Anton spoke this morning about Ben Johnson leaving. No, yesterday about Ben Johnson leaving. All days blow into one to me. So for me, there does seem to be a balancing act of getting the best players from around the world, but also concentrating also about the homegrown quota because we're losing three. If Antonio Cresswell and Ben Johnson goes, that's three quotas in terms of homegrown, three players out of the quota, as well as Ben Johnson, one of the academy quotas gone. So I've got three players being linked with, and to be honest, they all sort of some are, one is, a an outsider, so to speak, and a couple are within the championship. And it does seem that championship is going to be some sort of a sort of hunting ground for us this season, but not just us. I imagine a lot of other teams will be doing that as well. So let's crack on and talk about the first gentleman. His name is Jamie Lewin. Louis Ling. Jamie to his friends. And he's caused a bit of a stir in Germany because of Tim's pursuit of this particular player. He's a Union Berlin winger, and we've inquired about his availability in the summer. He's currently on loan at Stuttgart, where obviously one of the managers we've been linked with, the head coach role, potentially in the summer of Huysen. He's there, as well as Sergio Gracie, who another player we've been linked with, the striker. And it's put the German club under a bit of pressure, according to Blind, the German news outlet. Reported yesterday that Stuttgart, apparently as part of the loan deal, have a £5.1 million option, so it's about €6 million, to buy the very dangerous forward. But they're hesitant as to whether to trigger the option. It's reported that if Stuttgart don't trigger the option, then Union Berlin will cash in on a significantly better deal, and that would be free to negotiate a deal with West Ham and also Roma, who are apparently also interested in the 23-year-old winger. He's picked up 4 goals and 4 assists in the Bundesliga so far this season and has helped Stuttgart into a somewhat surprising Champions League spot, to be fair. And they're looking, as they look to hold off the pressure from RB Leipzig, who are just below them. It's a bit of their version of Aston Villa, I think it's fair to say, in terms of Stuttgart this year, and could well be in the Champions League next year. At 23, Jamie's still got a lot of room to grow and develop. He's not a finished article at all. I mean, dribbling is something that is his forte, but holding up play, maybe not so much. And he's quite a strong fella, but he's definitely a rough diamond, I would say. But you never know. You never know what happens. He's loans, as I said, this is only his second full season of regular football in the Bundesliga. and he's proven to be a very important player to Stuttgart. Now, the reason why the club are hesitating about selling him, about buying and taking the £5 million hit to make his loan permanent, is money. Basically, Stuttgart are very, very, very frugal with their money, and they are. I think it was the chief exec was saying it doesn't think he can stretch to £5 million at the moment because I think it's come somewhat by a surprise. This whole Champions League sort of potential next season, and they need to develop their squad quite a bit. Now, what is interesting to see is he, if the Stuttgart deal doesn't happen, obviously we'll be in for him. Tim's very keen about him, apparently. Also, what's quite interesting was he actually turned down the chance to play for Ghana, Mohamed Kudus's Ghana, in favour of staying within the German setup because he wanted to play for Germany. Now we'll see what happens. I mean, he's interesting, an interesting play. He can play across the front three. He's very dangerous, very quick. He can play as a forward or as a winger as well. So clearly, like for example, for someone like Jamie and also in Wesley, we've seen the type of player that we need on that wing play. So keep an eye on that. That could be an interesting one. As I said, there's a bit of a furore in Germany. The fact that Tim is interested in him because he's one of their own, so to speak. Elsewhere, let's talk about going back into the Championship, shall we? Let's talk about Jacob Greaves, shall we? Apparently, we're in talks with him, according to Jacob Steinberg. The Guardian reporter quoted on Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? I think it was, or Monday. I can't remember exactly. That discussions with the whole City centre back here are moving in the right direction with West Ham. With the club also interested, obviously, in Tosin from Fulham as well, who's leaving out of contract. We're obviously looking to boost our homegrown quota, and we believe that someone like Greaves, who's only 23, actually we tried to get him. We looked at him in the January transfer window as well. And we're now moving ahead for him. He's had a standout season for Hull City. They could still make the playoffs. It's them and West Brom and can't remember. There's one more team. Might be Leeds. I can't remember something. But they're very much there's 2 out of 3, and they could creep into that 6th spot potentially. He has been recognised as one of the 2 leading men in his position in the 2nd tier and was named in the Championship Team of the Season at the EFL Awards. Obviously, homegrown quota. And we know centre half scenario we need to look at, definitely. Nail's been linked to a move away potentially to the Saudi Pro League. And so, yeah, it's good that they're looking to bring in British, so to speak, in terms of ensuring that homegrown quota. We're not filling the homegrown quota with just any old English players. Jacob's got one; he's one for the future as well, and will very much be in the. I imagine if he keeps that trajectory going in terms of how he's playing, be in the England sort of setup in the next couple of years for sure. And another player from the Championship. We're going back to staying there. We're going to Coventry City, and as we said, we're looking to boost these homegrown quotas, and we've also apparently have got Callum O'Hare, not Bucky O'Hare. That's a random reference for some people. Do you remember Bucky O'Hare when you was a kid? Callum is very much in our sights ahead of the transfer window. 25-year-old Englishman who's impressed this year after returning from a cruciate ligament injury early this season. He scored 2 amazing goals against, was it Sheffield Wednesday? I think it was. But he's had 10 goals and 4 assists in the Championship this year. He's out of contract in the summer, and according to Steidman, he's expected to leave Coventry, with West Ham now in the running to sign him. He would be a very, very useful addition, I think, to the West Ham setup. I think, in all honesty, he's sort of where someone like Flynn Downs was more of a defence or more of a box to box, maybe even defensive CDM. Callum's definitely more of an attacking, more of a not Connor Coventry, we got rid of him, Conor Gallagher type player. Do you know what I mean? Sort of real box to box, energetic, would fit in really well, I think, for West Ham. And maybe would be, because I could see Flynn staying at Southampton, in all honesty, and maybe Callum coming in. They're similar. I mean, isn't Flynn's a little bit younger. I think they'll probably look to refresh it. I think Flynn will probably stay in the Championship unless Southampton go up, which they could well do. So we'll stay with Southampton with Callum coming into the side, into the squad potentially. On a free transfer seems like a good deal. Maybe we could we sold Flynn to Southampton for, I don't know, just picking a number, £10 million, £15 million, and then getting Callum in on a free transfer. Obviously, we know it's not actually free. We know you pay a signing on fee and stuff. I don't think that's a bad deal. He's really, really good. Check him out on the YouTube. He's very, very good indeed. Anyway, that's it from me. A little sort of little bit of what is it? A dinner. A little bit. That's the word. I can think of the name. A little bit of dinner. A little bit of rumours with your dinner. Sounds good. I'll be back tomorrow with the Daily Show, Hammond's headlines, and then we start getting ready for the Chelsea game. Really, isn't it? We'll have Friday, Dave Moyes press conference. We'll try and do a Friday live as well. Over the weekend, we'll have should have a really interesting academy interview coming up, so keep an eye on that as well. Probably out on Saturday. And then Sunday, we've got Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Will the fat lady sing in terms of our European hopes and ambitions? Will it be the final nail in the coffin? Yeah, I think it will be if we lose to Chelsea on Sunday. So take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Also, don't forget to check out Alloy Collectors. Links in the description. 25% off if you use the West Ham Network code WHN25, and you'll be supporting the channel at the same time. Much love.